How long have you been an English teacher?
I have been an English teacher for 18 years now. I majored in English. I had amazing English teachers in high school. And so I majored in English, and then I thought, what can I do with an English degree other than teach? And so I got my teaching degree along with that. And then I started student teaching in Nashville and fell in love with teaching. And so I have been to several different schools. I moved around with my husband, but I've been at Franklin County High School for about 8 years now. Mom always wanted me to do, and I fought against it, but I was that kid that always played school, and so she kind of knew that I was born to be a teacher. I just learned that you can follow your passion and enjoy the career that you're in, and that's what I do. I have had a few former students that have wanted to be teachers, and I just give them support and tell them, you know, most of the time if you want to be, that's the first step, and then just kind of sticking with it. The first few years are usually pretty hard, but when you stick with it, you found the career you want to do. It's what you're born to do, so keep doing it. There's been a lot of hard times with my career, but I just feel like overcoming that and being able to influence students' lives is worth everything. Like I said before, I had great English teachers in high school. I had two that I think about a lot. My creative writing teacher, and she was just this like loving kind of mom teacher that I kind of feel like I'm like her a lot. And then I had a very strict, difficult AP English teacher, and she just pushed me to like be a good writer and understand all about literature and everything. And so that's why I fell in love with it. And then I've kind of become the teacher, like my creative writing teacher, just nurturing kids as much as I can. I had to work hard in high school to be able to get a scholarship to go to college. My family didn't have a lot of money, and so I could have chosen a different path, you know, but I worked hard and got to where I could get a scholarship and go to college and become a teacher. One of the hardest things with teaching for me is the testing process. You know, being an English teacher, my students always have to take the TCAP test or the end of course test, and there's a lot of pressure on those teachers that their scores have to be high. And I remember one year I had really low scores. I just had students that struggled with that, and I was just like, I can't do this, you know. But I just kept pushing forward. Now usually my kids score pretty well on it. That'd probably be my most difficult thing that I've overcome with teaching. Honestly, I just every day coming to school, getting to influence kids' lives. My husband and I actually became foster parents because I had several students that were put in the foster care system, and there's just not many people in Franklin County that would take teenagers in. And so I had one student who had to go put out of state because of that, and that's when we started the process of becoming foster parents. So I've actually got to foster 3 or 4 of my former students and a few other kids from other counties. So that's been very special. And I coach too, and so my athletes as well. Just building those relationships with them, seeing them achieve and do the things that they wanted to do when they're a 9th grade student, watching them graduate high school and go to college. And several former students of mine are teachers now, and I love being able to talk to them and all that kind of stuff. I got through in 4 years. It was a push. I know I had to take like 21 hours one semester just to make sure I could get through in 4 years, because having an English degree as well as a teaching degree, it was a double major. And so I had to have everything done in 3.5 years so I could student teach. So I really pushed myself to get through with that and get that in 4 years.
How did you know that this was the right path for you?
When I student taught, it was just natural. And the lady that I student taught under, she was like, you're just a natural teacher. Like, I really don't have a lot of advice to give you other than like things to, you know, do in the classroom.
Have you grown mentally?
Oh, definitely. Things that would usually just drive me crazy that students would do, now I'm just like kind of laid back, like it's okay, you know, everything's gonna be okay. Something I always tell kids, and I have a lot of kids will call me from college like, oh, I'm failing this class or whatever. I'm like, make flashcards. So that's my #1 piece of advice I give people, because I have thousands of flashcards I made through college, just being able to like learn the information.
What are you looking forward to in your career?
Now that I'm kind of halfway through, I just want to keep teaching. I do look forward to retirement here not too long from now. And I kind of see myself being one of those retired teachers that comes back in the subs because I can't leave the classroom for too long. I just truly enjoy coming to school each day. I enjoy my students. Right now we're reading Romeo and Juliet, and we're finishing today. We're going to all get up in front of the classroom and act it all out, and days like that are just fun. Teaching freshmen, you have to kind of teach them how to be high schoolers, and we often make the comment, we're not in middle school anymore, so we don't do the silly things, you know, we're here to learn, which they are in middle school as well, but just teaching ninth grade, we have to teach them how to grow up a little bit. Worst teaching day, I had a class. It was here, it was a 4th block class. There were like 32 kids in there. Half of them had already been in a juvenile detention facility at some point. This was when I taught 10th grade. And it was just terrible all the time behavior. It was just kind of herding cats all the time. I'm gonna turn a worst day into a best day, because one day I had them, I said something about DCS, and they all started talking about how they hated DCS. And so I was like, how many of you have been, you know, involved with it in some form or fashion? And like 75% of the class had. And so we turned that into the coming of age essay, what we would write after To Kill a Mockingbird. And it was like completely quiet. Everybody wrote about the experience in their life that made them know they weren't a child anymore. And then I pulled a line from each of those essays and just read it out. And so everybody got to hear what all the other students had to deal with in their life, and that turned that class around for sure. I think mental health issues are a struggle for students today. That it's always been there, but with social media, with the pressure to just fit in and do things, kids are always under constant scrutiny. I didn't have that growing up, where every day people are judging you. And that makes it hard to care about learning when that's happening. Teaching has opened my eyes to the world of just how different people have to deal with different things. Getting to know my students and their lives that they've had has helped me have more empathy for people in general. My goal is always for them to learn, but if they're able to feel comfortable in my class and know that I cared about them while I was in my class, they were in my class, that's the most important thing.